You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 26th day of November, 2025. Thanksgiving Eve. And we got so much to be thankful for. I know the world's a mess, our government's a mess. It's just messy. But if you stand back and look at the big picture, we've all got so much to be thankful for, especially if you're a believer. Anyway, reminder, we won't be here tomorrow or Friday. We're taking a full holiday. I may put out some tidbits tonight, tomorrow night, if time permits, but mostly I'm going to focus on the holiday. I encourage you to do the same. But thanks for joining us here today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're always just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. First broadcast, that's our live training room. Get in there, you got to either be a member or taking your 1-week free trial. If you've not yet taken your 1-week free trial, now would be a great time to do it because get your indicators enabled today. Get your indicators indicating today, and then your trial will run all the way through next Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, when Michael joins us at the top of the hour, although he may be running a few minutes late today, but he will be joining us to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room and to do a little live trading as time permits. But he'll definitely be, now, as I said, do 2 broadcasts every trading day. This broadcast, the noon broadcast, is actually open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth, internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. Best way, you only have to do it once. mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says noon broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, about an hour before this broadcast starts, in that email there's a 12 noon Eastern. All you have to do is click the link in the email and it automatically logs you into our platform. The benefit there is you have access to the question box. Ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there will be days when you're out of the office, away from the desktop. Maybe this time of year you're visiting family or friends for the holidays, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy and you can't join live, but you do want to get caught up later. Both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CF. That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. All you have to remember, youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,900 daily episodes archived, educational.com/CF. And if you're new to our neck of the woods, it's a great way for you to kind of get to know who we are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can actually see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even. Now, obviously, you're not going to watch them all. You need to. But it is a great resource to have at your fingertips. And again, it shows you exactly day by day how we've evolved. .com/CF. On the left side of the screen, you see our daily schedule. We're going to go ahead and dive right into our daily devotional as we do each day at the beginning of the broadcast. Topic that we've been on for the last 25 days, sharing your faith. Now, it's a 28-day devotional. Why so many days on one topic? Because once you become a believer or are saved, vernacular some believers use, that's not the story. Jesus commanded that we as believers are to share the gospel so that others might find eternal security. That's why we spent so many days on one topic. We still have 3 more days to go. Our scripture today is Acts 2, verses 42 through 47, and I'll share it from the NIV translation. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property, possessions, to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God, enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily who were being saved. Again, that's Acts 2, verses 42-7. So today we're going to talk about growth environment. Growth is influenced by environment. Plants need fertile soil, fresh water, and plenty of sunlight to grow to maturity. But what do new believers need for healthy spiritual growth? What is their ideal environment? Acts 2 recounts the experiences of the first believers after Jesus' resurrection and ascension. They flourished in an environment of growth. It didn't happen by accident. In Acts 2:42, we read that they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the fellowship, breaking of bread and to prayer. They spent quality time together. They did life together, centered around Jesus and sharing life with another. In the same manner, believers today grow by being in the right environment. Activities can be helpful, but a growth environment is key. Like prayer, Bible study, fellowship with other believers are critical elements in a healthy growth environment. Mentor helps ensure younger believers are in an environment The best environment for growth is filled with two things: grace and truth. I encourage you, think of the new believers that you know. Evaluate their environment for getting what they need to grow to maturity. Not, then ask yourself, what can you do to help provide a better environment? Over the years, I've got to say, I've seen this played out time and time again. I bring somebody to church once, twice, thrice, whatever. But at some point, they decide this whole Jesus business is real. They become a believer. They get saved. Okay? Then they leave the church and they go back home. Maybe to some rundown apartment building where pimps and hookers and dope dealers everywhere you look. Now, is that a fertile environment for spiritual growth for a new? Probably not. Now, unless you have an awful lot of money, you're not going to be able to just pick them up and move them to a better location. But you need to talk to them about their situation. You know, if you go to the barber shop enough times, eventually you're going to get a haircut. So, that new believer should be encouraged. Pray, study the Word, save their money so they can get the heck up out of there and move to a better environment. This is all part of what Jesus meant when he said, I want you to become disciples of men. It means we're supposed to not only bring them to church, not only share our own experiences and share the gospel truth with them. Once they accept Christ as their Savior, then we take them under our wing and teach them how to fly. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for the example of the early church as we see it being birthed. Facts. Devoted to your word, united in fellowship, generous in heart, filled with joy. Help us to live with that same spirit today. Make us people who pray faithfully, share willingly, love deeply, walk together in. Let our lives reflect your presence so that others are drawn to Jesus through what they see in us. It's in Jesus' name, believe and pray. Everybody said. Now, think about this for just a second. We're going to go to the numbers around the world. I just want you to ponder this, okay? Based on what we just read and the prayer we just prayed. People look at you and how you live your life. Now, when we talk, 90% of what we say goes in one ear and out the other, okay? People watch, while people don't really listen to us, in many cases, they watch us. They see if we really act and behave the way we say we is our life, the life we live, a testament to the things we're trying to share with them, teach them. See, want the non-believer or the new believer look at us and go, man, I don't know what that guy's got, but I want some of it. I want to be honest with you. I've known a lot of Christians in my life, and when I say Christians, I'm doing air quotes here. Whatever it is they have, I don't want none of that. Maybe they're just not good examples of what a Christian life produces. Maybe they're angry, maybe they're bitter. I don't know. So, put yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what do other people think? They see me and are around me. And ask yourself, do you have a church face and a home face? In other words, when you go to church, it's all about, hey, how you doing? Oh, blessed and highly favored of God. Then as soon as you come home through the front door, the dog barks and you kick. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to badger anybody, but it's the reality of the situation. So let's go to those numbers from around the world. Can't see the look of surprise on my face, but, well, I did say yesterday that this could happen because of the historic nature of markets to rally into a holiday. And boy, is it happening. Gotta tell you. See it when we go to the charts, when I bring those up. Now, let me just give you the numbers. Again, starting here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the C's, as the Dow's up 390 points, almost 1%. Nasdaq's up 210, almost 1%. S&P 500 is up 56, almost 1%. And the Russell 2000 up 21 points, almost 1%. True story. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 36 cents, trading 58.30 last. Gold up $25.10, trading $4,164.80 last. Silver up $1.70, trading $52.66 last. That's a gain of over 1.25%. Asian markets at the close. Nikkei posted a gain of 899 points, almost 2%. Shanghai fell 5 points. The Hang Seng gained. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 82%. The DAX up 261, over 1%. And the CAC up 70, almost 1%. So we had a mixed day in Asia, only due to the Shanghai being down 5 points. It was a green day for the UK. At the moment, it's a big green video Wednesday here in the US of A. Go to the global news. Nearly 82 million Americans are expected to travel 50 miles or more Thanksgiving weekend this year. About 73 million plan to hit the road by car, while close to 6 million fly. Thanksgiving became a regularly observed national holiday after President Abraham Lincoln's 1863 proclamation establishing the Day of Thanks. Today, about 94% of Americans say they plan to celebrate. Around 87% serving turkey, alongside the classic sides like stuffing, mashed potatoes, and rolls. Average cost of a traditional Thanksgiving dinner for 10 is $55.18, or roughly $5.50 per person, marking the third consecutive year price declines. Meat thermometers, cake pans, and measuring cups top the list of last-minute buys in 2020. Dessert pie reigns as the nation's number. And millions are expected to tune in to the 99th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. That would be 6:30 a.m. Eastern, my time. Perhaps I'll just tell YouTube TV to. Did you know with YouTube TV you get unlimited cloud storage? I mean, truly unlimited. The first time scientists have identified 4 ages at which the average human brain retires. Age 9, age 32, age 66, and age 8. Now, everyone in the audience who's 66 years old right now, I'm scratching my head. Resulting transitions provide 5 distinct stages of human brain development according to a new study released yesterday. Researchers studied roughly 3,800 people, babies to individuals age 90, using MRI diffusion scans to examine how water molecules move through the brain. They saw that from birth to age 9, which is considered childhood, gray and white matter rapidly increase, and extra synapses are from age 9 to age 32, adolescence. I never thought of myself as an adolescent at 32, but anyway, white matter continues to grow and cognitive performance improves. From 32 to 66, which they call adulthood in this study, brain architecture stabilizes, leaving personality and intelligence mostly unchanged. Early aging begins at age 66. Neural activity is largely concentrated in subnetworks, and late aging begins at age 8, when connectivity decreases. Findings suggest cognition doesn't simply increase until a certain age and on. If you want to know more about this, if you're at a certain age, Google brain's 5 phases. I'm sure it'll take you right to the article. New York prosecutors plan to retry for the time 64-year-old Pedro Hernandez, the 1979 disappearance and presumed death of 6-year-old Peyton Katz, one of the nation's most infamous missing child cases. The decision follows a federal appeals court ruling this summer that overturned Hernandez's 2017 murder conviction. The court found jurors had received flawed instructions on how to weigh his 2012 video confession, which the former bodega stock clerk admitted to strangling Katz after offering him soda. Physical evidence links Hernandez to the boy. Hernandez's lawyers argue his confession was coerced, citing his mental health issues, low IQ, and lengthy, unrecorded interrogation. His first trial, in 2015, ended in a hung. Katz went missing May 25th of 1979 while walking alone to his school bus for the first time. His body was never found. The case became a watershed moment for missing children. Katz's image among the first to appear on milk cartons. Remember that? Remember when you used to buy some milk? It was a picture of a child. Have you seen this child? Remember? I don't know why they stopped doing it. Well, thanks to Biden, we have 300,000 missing children in this country. They just came across the border and were released to unvetted people. Now, the current administration has found about 30,000 of them. It's just a tenth. The BBC caught scam call center workers on hidden camera as they laughed at the people. One worker bragged about making $250,000 from victims. Disturbing truth: scammers don't pick phone numbers at random. They buy your data from. Once your data is out there, it's not just calls, it's phishing, impersonation, and identity theft. You might look into Incogni. Spell it Incogni. They got a special going on right now, which supposedly will remove all your information from the internet. I don't know everything. I know you're crushed to hear, but I don't see how they can do that. Once it's on the internet, on the internet. But anyway, they claim they can do it, so CERN, check them out. Turning to Wall Street. JP Morgan's top stock market strategists think 2026 will be another good year for U.S. investors. The firm's equity strategy team set a year-end price target of 7,500, S&P 500, 6. Should the Federal Reserve continue cutting interest rates, however, the bank thinks the S&P 500 could surpass 8,000. Despite AI bubble and valuation concerns, we see current elevated multiples directly anticipating above-trend earnings growth, an AI apex boom, rising shareholder payouts, and easier fiscal policy, i.e. the one big beautiful. Or so, the earnings benefit tied to deregulation and broadening AI-related productivity gains remain underappreciated. JP Morgan's 7,500 call for next year is primarily supported by expected earnings growth 13 and 15% over the next 2 years. Third quarter S&P 500 companies grew earnings by 13% from the year, according to FactSet data. The firm's baseline outlook also sees the Fed cutting rates 2 more times. Markets were pricing in an 85% chance the Fed cuts rates next month, December 10th, and then an extended pause. An improving inflation outlook prompts more rate cuts is what JP Morgan sees catalyzing a rise toward and above 8,000 benchmark S&P 500 index. All right, Black Friday just got a lot more complicated. I mean, I started getting these Black Friday emails a month ago. Remember back when Black Friday was really Black Friday? It was the Friday after Thanksgiving. It's coming Friday. And mostly women all across America wake up early, 4 a.m., get in line at their favorite retailer, snap up the deals. Then along came the internet, and slowly but surely things changed. But now you got AI in the mix. It's just about the most wonderful time of the year. Like me, you'll spend Thanksgiving stuffing your face with enough turkey, gravy, and sides to fill a small swimming pool. And after a brief nap, start looking for the best Black Friday tech deals to score some savings on this year's holiday gifts. But Black Friday is no longer as simple as rushing into a big box store and trampling your neighbor to grab the last big screen TV on sale. Quite a number of years ago, when my daughter was about 12, We did go to Black Friday at Walmart. We didn't go early in the morning, like midday. They had these pink guitars. Our daughter had said she wanted the, and so one left. Wife grabbed it, then this other lady grabbed it, and there was a standoff. Needless to say, the guitar went in our car on the way home, before we went home. True story. I thought it was going to get ugly, but finally the other lady just gave up. AI is adding a new wrinkle to the shopping process, and tariffs have increased the prices of some of the most sought-after products this holiday season, in game consoles. Now, Aaron Sherris, Bain & Company, told Yahoo Finance, "If I had to pick a category most affected by tariffs on both the dimension of price elasticity and dimension of foreign exposure as a percent of the total bill of materials, electronics is it. That can include everything from headphones to keyboards to mouse. Some PCs are also expected to become expensive, thanks in part to the explosion in data center construction, putting a strain on consumer parts such as memory and graphics chips. That doesn't mean everything will be pricier this year. You just need to know where and how. Online shopping has made buying gifts easier than ever. Now let me tell you, Friday's my wife's birthday. I ordered presents well in advance. All the package still hasn't arrived. But this morning, during the live training room, I realized I didn't get a birthday card. I went on Amazon. I found a nice birthday card, like 85 cents. You know, those Hallmark cards are like $6. So I found a card, and because we Prime members, they said you'll get it in about 3 hours. Yeah, right. When I went on break just now, after the live training room, it was on my doorstep. True story. On Monday, OpenAI announced its new shopping research tool. It allows you to search for and compare products, creating a kind of AI-powered shopping guide. It eventually takes you to a retailer's site for whatever it is you decide to purchase. Amazon has its Rufus AI shopping tool, which can help you find specific products or get suggestions for gifts. For instance, if you search for gifts for an 8-year-old boy who likes Legos, playing sports, and video games, Rufus will give you a list of Lego-based video games, things like portable soccer goals, and more. Google's AI mode and Microsoft's Copilot offer similar capabilities, providing suggested gift ideas and links to retailers. Reuters, New York City Comptroller Brad Lander is urging city pension fund officials to rebid $42.3 billion managed by BlackRock. Climate concerns. First major move by a Democrat to counter pressure on financial companies from Republican allies of the fossil fuel industry. Lander's term in office ends December 31st, but his recommendation be unveiled today or next Wednesday. Put Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani hot seat, takes office in about 5 weeks. Mamdani's appointees will take key positions that hold some sway over the pension boards that decide where to invest retirement funds for some 800,000 current and city employees. In a November 25th memo to other pension fund trustees seen by Reuters, Lander urged the funds to reevaluate contracts with New York-based BlackRock, which is both the world's largest asset manager and the city's largest manager of retirement assets. Lander cited what he called BlackRock's restrictive approach to engagement. About 2,800 U.S. companies, which it owns more than 5% of shares. BlackRock's actually up $16 or 1.5%. I have a friend, he's passed now, but he's both a pastor and a full-time employee in the city of Phoenix. He works in the Parks and Recreation Department. His pension almost got cut off. The city of Phoenix got themselves in some serious financial trouble. So you know what they did to bail themselves out? This is very interesting. They sold parking meters downtown Phoenix, Arizona, to a firm in Chicago for $1 billion. Now, what that means is the city of Phoenix got a check for $1 billion, and in turn, this company in Chicago gets the revenue for its parking meters in. As much as they charge to park downtown these days, and they've got new controls, and they've raised the price of parking. You used to park for free at night. That's no more. You used to could park for free on Saturday and Sunday. I think on Sunday you can still park. They've probably gotten their $1 billion back by now. That allowed the city of Phoenix to continue paying retirement benefits to city of Phoenix employees. Story. U.S. mortgage applications to buy a home surged last week to the highest level since early, despite still elevated borrowing costs. Mortgage Bankers Association index of home purchase applications jumped 7.6%, 181.6 in the week ended November 1st. Contract rate, 30-year fixed mortgage, ticked up to a more than 1 month high of 6.0%. All right. I'm sure you know about this. A young woman is fighting for her life in Chicago. Severe burns because of a grave injustice. Tolerably common in cities across America. Bethany McGee, a 26-year-old woman, Upland, Indiana, is fighting for her life with her burns she received while riding Chicago's CTA Blue Line train on November 17th. The story is incredibly similar to several other incidents as of late that have grabbed national headlines. Lawrence Reed, a 50-year-old man with an astonishingly long criminal record, he's been arrested and released 72 times. Doused McGee with gasoline, chased her through the train, and lit her on fire. The incident was remarkably similar to one that took place on the New York subway a year ago. In that case, the alleged assailant was an illegal alien. Just like in the recent case of the murder of a woman who was stabbed to death on a Charlotte train, the suspected Chicago arsonist has a rap sheet that's almost hard to believe. He's been arrested 72 times in Cook County, Illinois. He only got convicted in 15 of those cases. I don't know. Here, it's a dark subject. Let's do something more. Logic 247 is our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini service. It's not just E-minis, it's also crude gold and silver. Currently in week 382. Over the last 382 weeks, issued over 21,000 individual handcrafted alerts. Averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Every logic alert has an entry price, long or short, and an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, and additional targets, and then a final trade to target. The real purpose of the alerts is to teach you how to read a chart. Bonus, you can also trade them if you want. Kind of hard not to. Now, since Valerie did the recap this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, I have added, I think, about 15 alerts. So this is going to change when she updates the recap this afternoon. So out of the 31 alerts, when she did the recap this morning, we're still waiting on the outcome of 8. And I added, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 14. That gave us 23 actionable alerts, of which 4, 17%, would have been stopped out, again, based on simple market structure and the simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Over 7 years, 1,000. Every one of them an opportunity for you to learn how to read. Logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. A session is their night session, and vice versa. 382 weeks is a very long time, like I said, over 7 years. Years before there was a Logic 247, we had our original alert service, concierge trade alerts. Different in a lot of ways. For the purpose of this discussion, I'll just simply say they don't come out around the clock. Typically published 5 minutes ahead of the Globex Open. Last night, the markets opened at 6 p.m. Eastern. That became the Wednesday session. Last night. All of our traders had all of these targets 5 minutes before the ETFs, the Dow, the Russell, Q, silver. As we go through the individual markets and you see these targets drawn out on the chart, remember, our traders had these targets 5 minutes before the market opened last night. All right, with that, we can actually go to the chart. Start where we always do with the bellwether, the S&P 500 mini futures. As I said, historically, we rally into a U.S. holiday weekend. Are we? Now, this, I may not this. Green line's the BBC. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. We call it the BBC. Price is above the green line, we're bullish. When price is below the green line, we're bearish. Simple. Now, we had a big picture bearish signal right here. Following Friday, we had another one almost identical. So here's how it should have gone. Leg, retracement, leg, retracement, leg. But market defied everything we thought we knew. I said yesterday that there was a pretty good potential for that to happen. Watch this area here, because when we defied that first bearish signal, this was a Wednesday, daily doji, and it took us all the way. Okay? Price reaches that area, roughly 68.75 to 68.91. Now, how we close today, I think it's just going to be bullish. Heading into a U.S. holiday week, just how it's been. But Sunday night, you could see this all come tumbling down. It's not a forecast, it's mere observation. So, be extra careful Sunday night. It's open. Those of you that don't know, we go to work Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, around the clock until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then we take a day and a half off. Obviously, this week we've got a holiday week, so once I sign off today, I'll probably just stay off until Sunday night, about 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll start getting. We have a full week of trading next week. All the alerts, whether it's Logic 247 or the Concierge Trade Alerts, they're all created on the chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes. It's just the time frame I chose years ago. It's not broke, say. So I have. Now, vertical line separates today, Friday. It's just, today, Wednesday. Seems like a Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. Horizontal lines are the weekly trading zones published every Monday morning at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire change in any way whatsoever. Now, when price rallies up to a weekly zone, we expect resistance till proven. Price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support otherwise. Yesterday, we were talking about this slice. See, only one of three things happens when price encounters 70% of the times consolidation, 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time the slice. That's when a third candle slices through a zone like it's not even there. Talked about this yesterday. When that move runs out of steam, price will typically trace back to the zone it sliced through and then continue in the direction of the slice. That's exactly what happened. This candle right here is where we opened last night, 67.81, and we ran up 11 points to the CTA long target by 8 o'clock. There's 2 hours of trading last night. Simply bought the open. Why would I buy the open? You're above the VBC and you expect higher prices. So we get this big leg and retracement. Remember, the pullback to the BVC holds more often than not. And when we trade through a CTA target, retracement, in this case, the top side of the CTA long target will often become support, just like it did right here. Now we've had another strong move up, but I think it's run out of steam. Okay. See this 3-candle consolidation? This black step line crosses to the right side of blue and climbing. Expect a retracement back to the BC. I still think we're going to close with a screen on the chart today. But in the market, you have retracements. Okay, that's just how markets work. Leg retracement, leg retracement, leg retracement, leg retracement. The Dow, where we opened last night, at 47,190, and we ran up 60 points. I need 20 points to get your goal for. Then we spent most of the night consolidating right along the top of that long. Back into the BC. Comes the Wall Street Open. Now we're getting that same 3-candle consolidation. Telling you, if the step line goes to the right side of blue and climbing, likely we'll see a retracement back to the BC. And it will probably hold. On the Russell, where we opened last night, ran up and hit red and falling, which is bearish. So we just consolidated, and then, boop, we hit the long target. We put in that sent us back to the VBC. Back held, upside. Now here you can see that black step line, it's starting to angle to the right. As it crosses to the right side of blue and climbing, retracement back to the BC. On the NQ, right here last night at 25.07. So about $1,200 per contract traded just to the target. And what we do? Leg retracement, leg retracement. See how it found support right at the top, that long target. Then it did it again right here. Got that same 3-candle consolidation. Might have seen the high of the day. Not a forecast, just an observation. I mean, we could trace back to the VBC and still go on higher high. Certainly enough left for that. Well, here's where we opened last night. Consolidated top side of the BVC, but we never really took out this high. But you see there's just wicks sticking up. See a wick like that, you should get ready for a candle like that. So we hit the short target once, support, sent us to resistance. See, resistance sent us back to support at the short target, simply based off this low from yesterday. Back up to the VBC, down to blue and climbing, and we almost made it. There's a high there. 58.43. So we missed it by 7 ticks. Now we're pulling back to the BC. Back holds, maybe the next leg will take us to the long targets based off this loss from yesterday. Gold. This is where we opened last night. Yesterday we kept trying to break through this zone. Opened here at 4128.6. $2,500 per contract. Traded through the target, back to the BBC held. We hit red and falling, bearish. That back down to the BBC and the top side of the long. Higher high. Back to the zone. Support. Support has now put us in price discovery mode. And your next resistance, this candle close. 31.50. And on silver. Yesterday silver found support, support, support. last night of the BBC. And by 9 o'clock, we had hit the target. Did we? 10. So that's 35. About $1,700 per contract traded up to the target. Then we hit the zone resistance, sent us back to the top side of the long-term support. Then the zone, then consolidation, and then leg, and then a retracement back to the BTC held. Now we're off the high of the day. The high of the day, 6. Price of silver moves $1. That's worth $5,000 per. When crude oil moves $1, $1,000. Gold moves $1, that's worth $100. Now we're off the high of the day now. Yes. Consolidation. Let's see. Yes, just an observation. Again, the next major resistance right up here, 68.70, 68.91, 69.01, 69. After that, we're looking at historic high. This is the all-time historic high right here. Intraday. 69.53.75. The all-time historic closing high, 69.27.5. Rally Sunday night. Michael's going to be joining us here in a few minutes. He's running a bit. I had some more news, so I'm going to share that with you. So he shows up. Got so much on. Not sure which one. Let's start with this one because it's so ridiculous. Katy Perry. Some of you may not know who she is, but you probably do. Pursues $5 million in damages from an 85-year-old veteran in a property fight. Katy Perry is seeking nearly $5 million in damages from a disabled octogenarian veteran in a lawsuit involving a California mansion. Band-Aid's singer and her then-fiancé, Orlando Bloom, bought the Montecito mansion, 85-year-old Carl Westcott, founder, 1-800-FLUCTUATION. Days after Perry bought the home, Westcott attempted to back out of the deal, saying he was incapacitated because of painkillers. He signed off on the sale. The Harleys in Hawaii singer sued the businessman for lost rental income related to the legal battle, millions of dollars in maintenance the mansion allegedly required. Perry is asking a California court to make Westcott pay her $0.7 million for damages that he caused with prolonged litigation sale. Perry hired over a dozen experts to find faults in the property, arguing the house needed significant repairs. According to Perry, the house required $1.1 million for extensive basement damage, damage caused by a water leak. Additional $225,000 for roof repairs to a guest cottage after an oak tree fell and $3.5 million in lost rent. Westcott's attorneys claim the performer is the one who actually owns their client's $6 million, which is what she agreed to pay for the Montecito. She got more money than she can ever spend. This 80-year-old guy, I guess he's not hurting. New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani has asked some City Hall employees to resign from their positions when he takes office on January 1st. The New York Times reported that the resignations, which will affect 179 workers, will change staffing in political office, including those overseen by deputy mayors. As is standard practice for a mayoral transition, the mayor-elect and his transition team are working to build their City Hall plan, which includes new staff in key roles to ensure they can deliver effectively on their agenda. Spokesperson Mamdani recently announced he's appointed more than 400 city leaders, 17 transition committees, tasked with not only making personal recommendations, policy recommendations. His direct transition team includes alumni of both Blasio and Adams administrations. Mamdani also plans to keep the New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch in her role, citing the sharp decrease in crime since she took the helm. Decrease in crime? Who makes this stuff up? His chief of staff is L. Bisgard Church, managed his own primary campaign, and former first deputy mayor of de Blasio, Delahan, served the same position in Mamdani's City Hall. 70,000 applicants have also applied for jobs in Mamdani's administration. The incoming mayor launched a resume portal to all experience levels a chance to work at City Hall. Isn't that nice? Prosecutors are dropping Donald Trump's criminal case in Georgia. President Trump's criminal prosecution in Georgia suddenly moved to its end today as the prosecutor, who recently took over the case, announced he will not move forward. Pete Skandalakis, the executive director of Georgia's Prosecuting Attorneys Council, took over Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis's 2020 election subversion case against Trump. Several allies filed a motion indicating to the judge he is declining to prosecute them. It is on life support, and the decision what to do with it falls on me and me alone, Skandalakis wrote. A 22-page memo. 22 pages, how's that a memo? It's like a novel. Submitted to the court Wednesday, but unlikely family members who must make the emotional decision to withdraw loved ones from life-sustaining treatment. I have no emotional connection to the case. As a former elected official who ran as both a Democrat and a Republican, is now the executive director of a nonpartisan agency. This decision is not guided by a desire to advance an agenda. It's based on my beliefs and understanding of Fox News announced that California-based reporter Bill Malou has been promoted to congressional correspondent. Might as well have stayed in Los Angeles covering the Kardashians for all the reality show level drama and hijinks on display last week on Capitol Hill. Boozing to busts, from calls for rebellion to cavorting with convicted pedophiles, members of Congress turned the greatest legislative body in the world into a pre-Thanksgiving feast of family dysfunction. Before we dig into the details, I offer a caveat. There are 535 members of Congress between the House and the Senate. The vast majority toil mightily in the service of their constituents and nation. It is never ending. A couple years ago, I broke bread with a freshman member of Congress who said in his 8 months in Washington, he had never left Capitol Hill. A veteran, high-ranking congressman came into a meeting so exhausted it took praying over him to resuscitate him. He told another congressman had exactly 7 minutes to hang out with us, and sure enough, he was in and out with the efficiency of a cat burglar. Over and over, we saw reminders that members of Congress are people regardless of party. Golly, start. How about them Democrats? Learned that Stacey Plaskett, the delegate from the Virgin Islands, was texting back and forth with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein during the 2019 anti-Trump hearing. Epstein was coaching her on what to ask President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, complimenting her for her job, even discussing her habit of chewing on her cheek. Okay, Michael just gave me a 10-minute warning, so you have to listen to me ramble on for. Plaskett tried to pass off the revelation as merely accepting a call from a constituent. And sure, Bonnie and Clyde just out for Sunday drives. As the Daily Signal's Olivia Perro reported, Plaskett and Epstein have a history going back to the Virgin Islands. She was general counsel for the government agency that gave Epstein's companies hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks. She got the maximum donations from Epstein in her 3 reigns before Epstein died. She went personally to his Manhattan home to hit him up for donations. Wonder how Plaskett liked the brushstrokes on Epstein's painting of Bill Clinton wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress. I'm sure you've all seen that picture. Oh, and she was personally named in a lawsuit filed by 6 Epstein victims accusing Virgin Island government officials of helping facilitate Epstein's activities. More crazy? I got it. Representative Jasmine Crockett. Does your blood not just boil when you see her? Look what's happening on the Daily Candle. Let's go look at the last 30 minutes. See that black step line? It's in the process of crossing blue climbing. Where we get basement to the BC. That's how it works. Back to Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine demonstrated again why she is more reality show dumpster fire than serious legislator. Crockett loudly shredded Environmental Protection Agency head Lee Zeldin for having taken donations from Epstein. One problem. Zeldin quickly pointed out that the donation came from an entirely different Jeffrey Epstein, a doctor. Now, Google and get that information. Amazingly, when called out by CNN, of all the outlets, for this mistake, Crockett declared, "I never said it was that Jeffrey Epstein." I'm not making this up. You have to applaud the shamelessness, though, don't you? It's not just false accusations Crockett had to worry about. Daily Signal's Fred Lucas reports Texas Congresswoman is facing investigation, inconsistent financial disclosure statements regarding investments. Every time she opens her mouth, man, blood. My wife says, I'm not going to die of, she says I'm going to explode one night watching. When I was a kid, I used to watch my grandfather watch the news on my dad's side. My mother's side, I don't think he was that interested. But on my dad's side, my grandfather would sit there with in his boxer shorts with his feet propped up on the big family Bible on the coffee table and yell and scream and cuss at the TV. And that's back when you only had an hour of news. 30 minutes of local news, 30 minutes of national news. That was it. Along came cable news. But anyway, I guess something to genetics. I don't know. Representative Sheila McCormick, Democrat of Florida, was charged last week with 15 federal counts of swiping $5 million in COVID-19 money and using it for her congressional campaign and personal benefit. Her family owns a healthcare company. According to the Justice Department, FEMA overpaid the company millions in disaster relief funds for COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract. McCormick and co-conspirators simply pocketed the cash. Not for long, within 2 months, McCormick had herself a $100,000 3-carat diamond ring, soon a seat in Congress. But, of course, she denies any wrongdoing. If convicted, she faces 50 years in prison. I think she could have made her millions in politics the old-fashioned way, insider trading. You know, like Nancy. A half-dozen Democrat House members and senators conspired to urge military and intelligence communities to defy orders from Trump and Secretary of War Seth. I'm sure you've seen the video, the commercial, whatever. It's closer to from don't give up the ship to take over the ship. Oh, they say illegal orders, but as the Daily Signal's Elizabeth Troutman reported Monday, Senator Slotkin admits she is not aware of a single illegal order given by the president. Heritage Foundation's Cully Stimson also detailed how one of the conspirators, Representative Jason Crow from Colorado, was asked 4 times by Fox News' Martha McCallum what illegal orders Trump has given. And he hemmed and he hawed like a randy teenage boy being asked his intentions by his date's father. Stimson, himself a 30-year judge advocate general, laid out not only the danger of this reckless call for the military to defy orders, but the absurdity. He's right. Think about it. 6 members of Congress, all military and intelligent vets, openly call for the military to rebel against its civilian command. Democrats, flag-waving grannies, and a dude in a Viking costume constitutes an insurrection. January 6th, that dude in the Viking costume, it's from Phoenix here. Now, crazy isn't always partisan. It was a crazy week for Democrats on Capitol Hill, but Republicans have nothing to boast about. They had their own week of hijinks and high drama. Get into that maybe on Monday. Jack Smith. Special counsel Jack Smith's team pressed forward secretly seeking phone records for Republican members of Congress even after being warned it exposed it to litigation risk. Emails released Tuesday by Senators Chuck Grassley of Iowa and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin bill prosecutors weighing which members of Congress to target with subpoenas as part of the Arctic frost investigation, which became Smith's 2020 election case against President Donald Trump. As you are aware, there is some litigation risk regarding whether compelled disclosure of toll records of a member's legislative calls violates the speech or debate clause in the D.C. Circuit. Smith's subpoenas for nearly a dozen Republican lawmakers requested detailed records for inbound and outbound calls, text messages, direct connect, and voicemail messages. January 4th and January 7th, 2020. Smith obtained non-disclosure orders hiding the request from members, approved by Judge James Bush, Obama appointee. By the way, delete a text message from your phone. Don't think you got rid of it. It remains on your provider's servers a long time. 7 years, 10 years, whatever. I don't know. Grand jury subpoena for House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan, obtained by the Biden DOJ, requested records from nearly a 2-year time period. Even putting aside the government's potential meritorious argument, calls over the relevant period, especially unsolicited incoming calls, not constitute protected legislative acts. My understanding of the low likelihood any of the members listed below would be charged. Litigation risk should be minimal here, Keller wrote to prosecutors. Prosecutors already had some member call records from a subpoena to Giuliani, reason that seeking records directly would allow them to understand what else may have. The closer you look, the more brazen Jack Smith's actions become. These records show Smith and his merry band of partisans operating on a weak foundation by intruding on members of Congress who were involved in core constitutional functions. Ultimately, the Biden DOJ threw the Constitution to the wind, seeking information about Republicans. The Senate deal to end the government shutdown included a provision that would allow lawmakers whose phone records were seized to sue for $500,000 per violation. The House of Representatives voted unanimously to repeal the provision on November 18th. The Senate Majority John Thune has defended. Smith's attorney did not immediately respond for comment. Michael should be here. Go away. To come. All right, he got caught in traffic, but he's still coming, so. Now remember, at the beginning of the broadcast, we had green all the way up to the tippy top of that wick. We did talk about a retracement. It's just getting started. That wick to the upside there, and that one. Right back down to the C. 68.21 down to 68.19. It's a nice 2-point. Wouldn't mess with it though until this candle closes. And of course, I would never issue a logic alert based on this setup because I only issue long alerts when price is above the VBC, and I only issue short alerts when price is below the VBC. Hasn't been much of this week. So today, Wednesday. It's Friday. Past hour, 101 million BTC positions were liquidated, with shorts taking the hit at 98.9 million, longs only 2 million. BTC is back over 90,000. I know we were at 125,000. Sold off to like 79,000. Now we're back to 90,000. Ethereum's almost back to 3 grand. But if Telegram's telling you to update it, just click the green button. It'll update and then it'll reopen right where you left. Okay. Just in. What's this? Just in, NASDAQ to increase position limits on Bitcoin ETF options. Street can't. Self-regulatory organizations, NASDAQ, ISE, notice of filing of proposed rule change to amend the position and exercise limits, IBIT options, and flex trade. This is an official notice from the Securities and Exchange Commission.
All right.
Oh, here he is.
I am here.
I told y'all he was coming. You didn't believe me. No.
I made it.
Well, you can see my daily chart. Yeah. Now we already had a candle. Yesterday we closed above the VBC, but now we got an open, and no doubt we're going to have a close above it.
Yes.
2 Fridays back to back, we had almost identical big picture bearish signals. Now we got a bullish.
Yep.
And
usually that would happen on a Monday.
Yeah, well, I think it's the historical rally into a U.S. holiday week.
Right.
I talked about that at length yesterday. So anyway, quite a day in the markets.
Well,
silver put in a high on the session, 290.
Wow.
Gold in a high. Gold didn't move much, but it did. 170.
What's the all-time high on gold? Do you remember?
I think that might be it. I'm not.
I was thinking it's gonna be pretty close to it right there.
I remember when it was like $500.
Oh yeah, I remember when over $1,000 for the first time.
I remember when silver was like 7 cents.
I don't remember that. I'm sure it happened. I just didn't know.
No. I'm sorry, $7. That's
okay,
when Warren Buffett bought a bunch at like $7, and immediately dropped to $5. So, okay, you ready to roll?
I am. I can bring it over here, and let me go through everything that I did this morning, and then, I've already kind of blown the trading time, so we'll go over everything that I did this morning. We'll cover all that.
All right. Well, I'm going to you'll be going for at least 15, 20 minutes, right?
Yep. Yeah. Why don't we just figure on that? We'll figure on 20 minutes.
Okay. I'll see you in 20.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Here we go. So I'm glad that this has changed since earlier. It was down earlier. We got the question box. I don't see any questions in there. We have more attendees than we usually have today, which is a good thing. All right, so here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 26th day of November, 2025. It's our final trading day of November. So if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on the purple button. And that will bring you to, well, this page. Oops, this webinar is ended. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, we got to put a new one in there. But when you click on that, it's going to bring you to the thing that signs you up for next week. Okay. You know what? Let me just fix that right now. Give me a moment. Give me just a minute. Let me open this up and drag it over to this side, and I will fix that right now so that people can actually sign up right now and have it until the first week of January is the way it's going to work out. There's one little piece of information I need from another window. It's in this one, and let me click on this, go home, and do upcoming events. Wow, she's really laying off on that one. All right. Let me just create a new event schedule. We'll copy this, and okay, so this one is going to have a start date of Monday, the 1st of December, and an end date of Friday, the 5th of December. Schedule. Okay, schedule. Save. All right, so now I have a link for it. Copy registration link. You guys just hang with me for a minute, all right? I got to do just a little bit of code in here to get this done because we normally do this on Thursday nights, but and Valerie normally creates a new thing on Thursday nights, and none of that happened. So let me just fix it right now. So that does give exactly what we need. Here that is, and I'll paste that in there. Done on that. Scroll down all the way down to here. And paste that in there. Done on that. And hit publish. Save and publish. All right, just a moment. It's publishing right now. All right, it is done. So now if I refresh this, and now, if you have not signed up for the free trial and you want to sign up for the free trial, click on this right here. All right, and that's going to bring you to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, it gives you TradingView login ID. Hit the register button. Now, if you sign up for it now, you get the indicators starting now. And the room obviously is going to open up on Monday. It'll be all week next week. But you get the indicators starting now. So the sooner you sign up for it, the sooner you get your indicators indicating and activated on your charts. Okay. Okay. So, let's see the results. Now, this is how we are wrapping up the month of November. We only had 14 trading days in November. Wow. That's like not much at all. Do we have any other months this year with only 14? I think we might have had 1 month where I took a week off. 17 in that month, 18 in that month, 19 in that month, 19 in that month, 16, 17, 20. That was it. So this is our shortest month of trading of the year, but it was our 4th or 5th best month of the year. We had some really good days, consistently above $1,000 a contract this month, which is great going into the end of the year. That's good stuff. Today we ended up with 1,072.50 with one contract. We had 49 ticks on the NASDAQ, 29 ticks on the Russell, 84 ticks on the Dow, and 21 ticks on the ES. That put us at 1,072.5. Today it took 5 minutes in one trade to get to $1,000 with 10 contracts, or 100 with one. And we traded 34 times this morning with 6 stop outs. So this morning, 82% of our trades were break even or better. Okay. So we're going to end the month of November with $22,645 over 14 business days, averaging $617 per contract per 2-hour day. And we're going to end on the year right now. We're at $253,457 over 204 business days, averaging $1,242 per contract per 2-hour business day. If you were to quit trading when you get the goal for the day, and you were to add one contract per month, so far this year, I'm looking for the chat box. I seem to have dropped it somewhere. Oh, here it is right here. And traded one contract per month. So far this year, you'd only had to work 28.3 hours. It doesn't look like I'm going to have any trouble keeping that under 40 by the end of the year. We only added 2.5 hours in the month of November. So I don't think I'm going to add 10 hours in the month of December. I think we'll have more than 14 days of trading, I think. But anyway, today you would have rolled over 200,000 in profit, gross profit, if you did everything just like I did and you were trading 11 contracts right now in the 11th month. Monday would be 12 contracts. We'll roll over 200,000 today, be averaging $7,098 per hour. Okay, $7,098 per hour. And that is where all that stands, right? So the rest of the news we had today, crude inventories, I got to refresh this. We'll see if the rest of the stuff came in. Beige book comes out at 2 o'clock today. That is still a significant thing. That can still move the markets around at 2 o'clock in half an hour. Okay. Chicago PMI came out a little bit expected. Dwayne, I'm sure, went over all this stuff. The crude inventories came out with a build when they were expecting a draw. And natural gas was way off. A bigger draw, twice as big as what they're expecting. Our next stuff is on Monday. Now, Monday, we have high impact stuff on Monday, nothing on Tuesday, and high impact stuff Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. So it's a busy week. All right. So I didn't have a ton of trades today, but I'm just going to start out with the gold and work my way across. Actually, not the gold. I didn't trade the gold. I'm going to start out with the Russell and work my way across. Okay. I didn't trade the NQ for a lot of the morning. But you can see the Russell doesn't have all that much on it today, but there weren't a ton of bars today. We started out here with the Russell with a stop out minus 15. Okay, then we had that trade right there. We picked up 15, got us to 0. Now the reason I have that as a blue is because it wasn't on a flat spot. That's why I have it as a blue. Hang on a sec.
Monday, December 1
Okay.
at 2:30 p.m.
All right. Yeah, that one came out of the oversold right there. And I actually took that one when it came out of the oversold right here. And I thought it was on a flat spot, but it wasn't. So I kind of messed that one up. But we picked up 15 ticks on that, and that got us to 0. We picked up 10 there, that got us to 10. Then 7 more there, that got us to 17. Then 5, that got us to 22. And then somewhere else, we have one more trade right there. 7 more to get us to 29. And that was it on the Russell this morning. Now, during the break, let's see, during the break, we had a trade here, trade here, trade there. All those would have worked out. A trade there, a trade there, trade there. So far, none of those would have stopped out. Brings us all the way over to here. That one wasn't a valid trade right there. That didn't go full cycle. Actually, it didn't have to. This was a valid trade. Okay, that would have been a break-even trade. And that was it. So there were some really nice trades there on the Russell during the break. All right, we ended up with plus 29 on the Russell on the morning. The YM Let's scroll back to the beginning of the YM. Okay, here we go. Our very first trade on the YM was right here. We picked up 30 ticks on that one. Then 5 more to get us to 35. Then we stopped out, and that brought us down to, well, after 35, we went up to 37. So there's another that went up to 37. And then from 37, we stopped out, went down to 22. Then we got 15 ticks right back. We went back up to 37. Then went to 47. This is highlighted in blue because it didn't actually hit the midpoint right there. It's a different blue. But we went up to 47 on that. And from 47, went to 52. And then 52 to 62, 62 to 63, and then 63 up to 74 right there. And that one is in blue because I don't think it was off the midpoint exactly. It was really close to it. Then we had one more trade, went from 74 to 84, somewhere in here. 74 to 84 might be this one right here. And that was it for that. Let's see, we had, that might have been the trade right there. During the break, there was one right there. That would have ended up being maybe a break even, maybe a little profit. There was one right there that was definite profit. One right here, that was profit. One right here, that would have been break even. And then this one would have been profit. This one, profit. This one right here would have stopped out. That would have stopped out. This one, profit. Going all the way over there. That's it. That puts us where we are right now. So on the YM, we ended with plus 84 on the YM. Okay. And now we'll do the ES. ES. Okay. Here we go. On the ES, our first one here, we picked up 8 ticks. Then we had a really nice trade there. We picked up 20 ticks. Got us to 28. Then we picked up another 4 to get us to 32. Then 1 to get us to 35. Then 2 to get us to 37. And then we stopped out, brought us down to 22. Then I messed this one up. I don't know why I have that color, but I messed that one up. And from 22 we went. Okay, the numbers get messed up here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. All right, so we went from 8. This is the yes, right? We went from 8 to 28 to 32 to 33 to 34, then down to 24. Okay, then right here we went down to 14 after that one. And then we had one there that got us to 15. Then 8 that got us to 23. One more that got us to 24. Then we stopped out again down to 14. And then we picked up 7 ticks somewhere else along the way here. We picked up 7 more ticks. That got us up to 21. It's probably right in here somewhere. We got 7 more ticks. That got us up to 21. It could have been this short right here. Anyway, we got up to 21. During the break, there was a long trade right there that would have stopped out. There was a short trade right there that would have been okay. There was a long trade right there. No, I'm sorry, that didn't go full cycle. That was not a valid trade. There's a long trade right here that would have stopped out. And that was it on the ES. Okay, so we ended up with plus 21 on the ES. Now, the NQ. Now, we didn't trade the NQ for most of the morning. Okay, so go back to where we started trading it. Right there is where we started trading it. All right, there's no sense going over the stuff before it because I looked at it this morning and it was a spread in it. And it was trading really, really thin, so I just didn't even do it. Our first trade on the NQ was right here. We picked up 21 ticks on that. Then 1 tick there got us to 22. Then 16 ticks got us to 38. Then we went from 38 to 42, and 42 to 74 right there. And then we stopped out and went down to 49 right there. And that was where we ended it for the morning. So 49 ticks on the NQ, just a handful of trades. Now during the break, we had a short right here during the break. That would have been a break even. A short right there, that would have been profitable. A short right there, that would have been profitable. Nothing through there. Long right there, that would have been profitable. A long right there, that would have been a break even, maybe. A long right there, that would have been profitable. A short right here, that would have been profitable. A long right there, that would have stopped out, I think. And nothing all the way through there. This right here would have been a nice long. That would have been a nice positive trade there. And that was it. And that was it. And that brings us to now. All right. All right. So we ended up on the NQ with 49 ticks after just a handful of trades. Yeah, we skipped most of the morning on the NQ. So let me say this part. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There's no credit card required for the trial. No credit card required for the trial. Scroll all the way down to here. What am I doing that for? Click on that, and it's going to bring you to the registration page. On the registration page, just fill out the form. All right. If you sign up today for the free trial, today or tomorrow or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, you'll get it all week next week. But if you sign up today, we'll enable the indicators starting today for all of next week. So you have the trial all the way until
next Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
That's right, next Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you got to sign up for the trial, now's the time. Okay, we won't have the room for the next couple of days, but I just created this at the beginning, Dwayne. Val hadn't given me the information, so I just created this stuff myself and did it on the fly. And so that's the way you should take the trial. If you're going to take the trial, take it now when you have a long, extended trial with the indicators. You get the room all week next week, but you get the indicators starting from whenever you do it.
What contract did you roll gold?
The G.
Okay. Silver and gold typically roll together. Silver usually roll. I thought. Anyway, I'll be updating that this weekend, guys. Before I send out the weekly trading zones for next week, the message in the Telegram discussion group telling you be sure to roll forward to the G contract and silver to what contract is appropriate. And then we'll be rolling the indices here in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. Yep. I'll tell you when we're probably going to be rolling them. Given calendar, the second Thursday of December is on the 11th, so it'll probably be somewhere around between the 8th and the 11th. No, I'm sorry, the second. Yeah, I'm sorry, the contract becomes available on the second Thursday, so it'll probably be around the 11th or 12th, around there, 12th, 13th, 15th, right around there is where I'll be rolling it, I think. So, all right. So that is all of that. Now, what time is it? 1:45. That's pretty good. Pretty good timing. So I guess with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne is back. Sorry for the delay.
No problem.
The whole septic thing is not looking good.
It's not.
No, I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to get that done the way we want it to.
Guys, you see how far we are off the high of the session.
I just saw
Gerald just asked a question. Yeah.
Yep,
Did you want to?
I just saw his question. The YBR is basically telling you the bigger picture direction. If you're above the YBR, you're going to be looking for long trades. If you're below the YBR, you're going to be looking for short trades. That's why in the context arrow, when we put that on your computer the other day, the green background color, that goes with the YBR when you're looking for longs, and the red background color goes with the YBR when you're looking for shorts. The background color switches with the YBR. Okay, it just tells you basically the direction you should be looking in.
Guys, at the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about how the black step line was starting to lean over, and because of this consolidation, the black step line was trying to cross balloon climbing, most likely get a retracement back to the BBC. Currently, the 30 BC is at 68.17, and on the daily, see now well off the high. We're pulling back into potential support here, 62% fib extension. That's 68.20. 68.20, and this is 68.17. So I realize it's a 7-point spread, but I would pay more attention to this or a range chart. So,
you know, I hadn't looked at it, Dwayne, but this morning I had written something in. I'll show you a picture. I'll put a picture in Telegram, and I can talk to you about it.
Sounds good.
To get it, hang on. That's not Telegram. That's an email. Hang on. Here's Telegram. There you are. Here. It's loading. There it is. Okay, so if you bring up that picture, you see where the oops. I don't really think you want that stuff in there. There you go, right there, the picture. See that line that I drew there at 68.48.50? I drew that this morning as a potential area we would find resistance. So I was just showing we found that exactly at that spot. And that was the middle of the Woo spot. The Woo spot is what you generally create things around Woo spots. And I was just showing that right there was where I thought it was going to go to and find resistance this morning. And the pullback from there, the BBC, you can see the BBC is really thick. The colored thick one right there is where the BBC is. And that's gone up quite a bit from when I did that this morning. That was down at 67.40 something, but it seems like it's gone up a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I just noticed it, that you were talking about getting up to that point and finding resistance there and selling off of there. I don't know how far off it's going to sell, but it could sell all the way back to the BBC. I don't think that's going to happen though.
It won't happen today, but I think we could see tumble Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's not a forecast, but an observation.
Just an observation.
Okay, so recap of the morning session.
Oh, today it took 5 minutes and one trade to get to $1,000 with 10 contracts.
Good job.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, we have covered everything there is to cover. So with that, say if you want to email Valerie, support@cfrn.net. Let her know you want to become a member. She'll send you the information you need to get signed up. All signed up and are an official passport holder, you're going to get 2 hours of live training every trading day. An interactive environment. That means you're trading along, you're asking questions, you're getting the answers, you're learning. Top of 2 hours of live training every trading day, you also get private extra charge. All you got to do is ask. The strategy you learn, the indicators you have as a passport holder across all markets and all times. Some of you listening or watching this, you don't trade futures. Maybe an equities guy, or maybe it's crypto, Forex or ETFs. Price flows the same across all markets and all. I could go from trading the ES to trading IBM without having to change a single rule, a single indicator, nothing. What we have is on every instrument that you want to trade in the exact same way. Price flows the same. It's all markets and time frames. Support, resistance, back to support, back to resistance. It's just how markets work. As a passport holder, you're going to get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. That's what's going to teach you how to read You know where to anticipate resistance. You know anticipate support. Get the concierge trade alerts every evening, 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open. Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you'll get trading zones. And every Thursday night, you'll be able to attend the members workshop. Won't be one tomorrow night because it's Thanksgiving. Last but not least, you're going to get the golden keys that open all the private channels, and there's quite a few. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof. Valerie's going to blow your mind when she sends you that form. Signed up. I guarantee it. Right, good word for the day. Prayer for deliverance from addiction. You have no obligation to do what sinful nature urges you to do. Romans 8. Heavenly Father, your word says, the Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead is in you. Just as God raised Christ Jesus from the dead, He will give life to your mortal bodies by this same Spirit. Or have no obligation to do what your sinful nature urges you to do. If you live by its dictates, you will die. The power of the Spirit to death the deeds of your sinful nature. 8:11 through 13. I'm tired of struggling with this habit and acknowledge that I'm powerless over it. So I make a commitment now to surrender to you. Give me power to not only say no to Satan's temptation, to say an even stronger yes to you and the void I'm trying to fill. Take away my desire for this habit and help me stand the criticism. Teach me how to walk in triumph day by day, instead of thinking I can solve this problem right away. The word says, if the Son makes me free, I shall be free. It says I can be more than a conqueror to him who loves me. The word says, clothe yourselves with the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ. Let yourself think about ways to indulge your clothed in your presence and power. I will be his habit. Blank. Day at a time. That's our good day and for the week. Thanks for tuning in. Wherever you are, God continue to richly bless you. See you. That bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.